Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's broadcast of Team Ambition here in the Proving Grounds of Circuit Open Qualifiers. Here, we are currently sitting at a 1-1 record, looking to face off against Here for T-Shirt in the first match of the night. My name is Gordo. I am joined tonight by Sulpan. Sulpan, thanks for hopping back on with me, my man. We are in for a banger 3 games.
Yeah, it just keeps happening to Team Ambition, man. We always seem to get this kind of middle of the pack seed. You always end up getting really close matches. Yesterday, of course, the 16-17 against Bay State, super close match. A little bit of a less closer one against Cincinnati Fear, but still looking to win it back here in the next 3 games here for Team Ambition.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to, be an expected result from the first day. Glad they were able to pull it out over Bay State. I think that was a little bit of a shakier matchup, and no shame in losing the Cincinnati Fear in that round two. Actually gave us, I think, a closer match than a lot of folks would have expected. So I was really impressed by what the squad was able to show us in day number one, and that makes me feel very good about their prospects coming into day number two here. First opponent is going to be Here for T-Shirt, most of the artists formerly known as Wildcard Aces. And, having just barely fallen short in the last OQ, they are also looking to move themselves up into some of those higher seeded brackets.
Yeah, I mean, currently seated at 21st coming into this Proving Grounds. Certainly a pretty tough team. Ambition did play against this roster with their last roster, but we got a whole new roster for Ambition, so it's kind of a huge question mark of who's actually going to win this one. Especially doubling down with the fact that Here for T-Shirt was one of those teams that just didn't get streamed at all yesterday. So there's a whole lot of question marks coming in here. The only things that are being known is that we know most of the roster from the last split.
Yeah, that's certainly true. And they did just barely miss at 2 and 3. So were able to compete with some of the squads, but did eventually end up falling short. This time around, they got a new set of opponents, of course, a whole new opportunity to move into that main event. And a lot of this roster is the same one that did end up making it towards at least the play-in stage of the last OQ face off against some of those academy teams. Didn't quite make it into the main event, but they did make a fair bit of a run there towards the end. That was Rapid and Jeremy were specifically part of that. Blossoms was over on the main wildcard team at the time. And Onat and Phenom also having come up through some of our other academy teams here, or other amateur teams. Onat over on Wildcard Dev prior to being on Aces. Phenom played for Wichita Wolves for a little while. So these are guys who've been bouncing around between teams for a little bit, looking to make that next step up. Didn't quite find it the way that their teammates Zamudo and Toasty did as a result of that spring OQ run. Here now trying to make a name for themselves in summer.
And we're already moving on to the draft here, though. Do you have a couple bands coming out? Ari, a nice choice, like you mentioned, Onat, one of those super powerful players here for T-Shirt's roster. Just kind of on the come up. We'll ban out that first pick, or one of those kind of early picks you can pick for the Ari, of course. Team Ambition on the blue side, this game does have first pick in this draft.
Yep, and now we're going to see that Seraphine ban. We talked about it a lot yesterday. They had a fantastic Seraphine performance on the blue side in game number one up against Bay State. Now going to have that one banned away from them. And also going to be keeping an eye on these DNA pocket picks. We've seen a lot of bans directed towards this man. His Syndra, really kind of his bread and butter in the amateur scene over the years that he's been here. But as of lately, has been spamming quite a bit of that brand as well. We've seen a couple of bans directed towards that one here already in the event. We're going to see if they continue to come through, or if we could even get to see one locked in as we get deeper and deeper into the drafts.
Yeah, last band will be that Lillian. Locking in the classic Wukong here. Very early jungle pick, very powerful. Yumi left open here. I think this is the first time we've actually seen it slip through the draft. And having a nice bruiser there does also leave open the option of that Twitch Yumi bot lane. Quite a few carries, I think, that are on the table right now for Here for T-Shirt are those carries that pair very, very well with the Yumi.
Yeah, definitely. So we will see if they want to take it with the Ezreal. It's kind of one of the more classic pairings. A couple of other selections you could take with it as well. The Zeri has been locked away by Team Ambition. They're going to take a Lulu to pair up with that one in the bottom lane, and that is going to give them a pretty strong laning duo. But here's the Twitch. The Tom and Jerry lane might be coming through. They know they're up against Volibear. Do like that selection up against some of these low mobility carries like the Twitch, but the Twitch, he's going to get locked in all the same.
Yeah, I was almost expecting to see this, I believe, yesterday when against Team Ambition's draft when Sketch locked into Tristana. I was the Twitch Yumi was a possibility, so this is actually the first time we're seeing it here on this stream, but very excited to see it doesn't get brought out. But a very standard kind of composition here, locked in for here for T-shirt. You lock in the early game jungler. You're very obviously trying to play towards this bot lane, and honestly, Team Ambition with the draft they have set up right now will be doing the same here. You could get a weak side top laner locked in, and another early game jungler as well here with the Volibear. Kind of means that both these teams will be looking towards the bot lane.
That is what we've got to believe. Both of these big scaling carries already locked in. Does mean that both of the solo lanes are going to be left up until later. The Yone going to be the ban here for T-shirt. That going to be banned away by Team Ambition. This is a big comfort pick for Phenom. It is what he busted out in their win up against Team Rapid yesterday. If we look at the drafts that here for T-shirt went towards yesterday, they played some really interesting stuff in game one, going for the Senna Yasuo bot lane, going with that Diana combo to try to set up for some of the more wombo combo-y styles. That was a loss to third party. And then they went back to a lot more comfort in their win against Team Rapid. So Team Ambition, I think, making a good choice here to zero in on some of those comfort picks like the set and look to take them off the board.
Yeah, especially like you mentioned, with the comfort kind of composition already lined up here and playing very standard. Set, very powerful bruiser. Certainly would love to have a Volibear attempting to jump on him and just send him straight back into the enemy team. A whole lot of damage there with all the bonus health Volibear ends up building. Will be the Victor Hover here. So truthfully, this is just such a standard safe composition from here for T-shirt. Kind of just tells you that they're thinking that they don't need any fancy tricks to bring out here against Team Ambition. They think they can just beat him straight up in the 5v5.
Yeah, and so with DNA's Nico and DNA's Syndra taken off the board, and knowing that you're up against a Victor, could this be the brand look? Brand and the Victor feels like it's a doable matchup. Maybe going to be a little bit more aggressive, but now they're just going to lock in the Orianna. They're staying towards something a little bit more traditional. And now saving last pick for Crimson, it is going to be that Gangplank coming in blind. We talked about how many games he's been putting in on this pick yesterday. Now he's going to get to show us the expertise that he's developed.
Yeah, that's a nice lock in here. Tsum, that mid lane, or sorry, Crimson, sorry, that mid lane flex player from Team Ambition, moving up their competitive debut, had a really good showing actually yesterday on the Akali. Completely popped off in team fights. I think did a very good job against Cincinnati Fear as well in that game too, despite the loss. So happy to see some more of the carry power of this team being locked up there in the top lane on the Gangplank.
All right, and it is going to be the Kale coming through for Phenom. He played this in his game against third party yesterday. Did solidly on that one, but was not able to come up with the win. They are going to go back to that pick here with the Kale setup, and now multiple carries to target with this Yumi. So gonna be a super interesting lane to check out and super interesting comp to check out here, as there's so many different carries coming from different angles. The only real front line though going to be the Wukong, so we'll see how they're going to be able to deal with that as Team Ambition has drafted themselves a really powerful kiting peel back composition.
So there is a little bit of a glitch here on the screen. Potentially a draft error, potentially just draft roll messing up on us, but that Kale is actually going to be Vladimir. So
Oh,
not exactly a frontliner, like you mentioned. You're still kind of at risk with Vlad. You don't want to be the first person everyone's hitting, but another target that can kind of dive in with the Wukong. You have 4 of these members on this team. I'm including Yumi and not the Victor here. That want to be just up in your face for here for T-shirt. You get the Vlad in the center of the enemy team. You hit a multi-man Cyclone, multi-man Final Chapter. You have a whole lot of lockdown and a whole lot of ability to do AOE damage. On the other side, I think it's Team Ambition that just wants to kite back as much as possible. They have good zoning tools with the Orianna Ball, with the Gangplank barrels. You can just continuously kite back with these slows and the CC that Orianna provides, and then try and just get your Zeri online, and then kite back into the team fight eventually.
yeah, I'm surprised that the Vladimir ends up coming through here. The Kale, a little bit more of a traditional Gangplank counter, usually something that can survive through the lane, and then you get the auto resets to make it very easily to contest barrels later on. Vladimir can still do the same, as he is ranged, so he gets like, at least a little bit of ability to contest some of those, and he does get it a little bit earlier because he doesn't have to wait until level 6 to be ranged, but it does still kind of keep the same truth about here for T-shirt, though. Makes them a little bit more AoE wombo combo heavy, as you were saying, but they are still super reliant on this Wukong paired up with the Yumi to get the engages off, as Team Ambition has a whole boatload of tools to try to keep them off here. But they are also kind of reliant on the Volibear to get their way in and to actually get these fights started, unless they can use some great angles with the cannon barrages and with the barrel chains.
All right, last game we had against Cincinnati Fear, I said Frozen Heart was the item of the day. I'm gonna give you a little quiz here. What do you think my item of the day is for Team Ambition this time around?
Oh, you're really putting me on the spot here. I gotta dive deep into my memory banks. So, facing off against double AP carries, I'm feeling a Force of Nature on this Volibear for sure. Don't know that you could quite build that on some of these other champions, though.
Mhm. That's exactly where my mind was going too. I like Force of Nature for Volibear. I was also maybe considering even a Maw on both Volibear and Tsum. There is a little risk there, but if they can manage to shut down the Twitch, and you can either, if you end up building that Maw instead of the Force of Nature on Volibear, you can opt instead into Anathema's Chains to
Mm.
help nullify some of the damage of the really only major AD threat on this team, which is that Twitch. So I would like that look. I think it may be a little bit interesting. Um, but obviously, more traditional tank builds always do kind of take the cake here, and I think Ma is hard to work into Gangplank's path. So I think it's a little more niche this time around, but I would like to see one of those two items built this game.
Yeah, and something that really stands out to me is just how immobile a lot of here for t-shirts carries really do end up being with this Twitch, this Victor, and this Vladimir. Yeah, you've got Yumi to speed you up, but it's going to be tough to really avoid some of the members like this Volibear, and more importantly, to avoid some of the ranged poke and ranged potential engage that's going to come through from Team Ambition. That Oriana ball coming through with the Shockwave going to be a major threat that's going to be pretty tough to avoid without expending that flash, and even barrel chains as well. Going to be very difficult for champions like Twitch, Victor, and Vladimir to avoid if they aren't careful. They're going to have to make sure that they have some good vision set up and that they don't get themselves forced into choke points that they aren't comfortable fighting in, because Team Ambition, they really have the ability to chase you down once they actually do get you low on HP. The Zeri, Lulu, and Volibear all going to be really focused on being able to hunt down those low HP targets who aren't going to have a lot of tools to get away.
And we saw how effective this Volibear was at committing to early game dives, and Yumi is one of those champions that certainly pre-6 uh, does struggle against being dope because there really is only the one target that you need to lock down, and she doesn't provide a whole lot of utility once she's off that carry. So I would like to see Team Ambition utilize a little bit what they learned from yesterday playing in Cincinnati Fear, bring down the Volibear early, and just go for these dives like crazy.
Okay, getting word again here, Sultan.
Uh-oh.
They aren't allowed to change picks. It's not the Vlad, it is the Kale. So maybe not even intentionally going for the Kale, but as I was saying earlier, to me it almost makes a little bit more sense. It feels like
Mhm.
it's a more traditional Gangplank counter. It makes it pretty strong in the laning phase once you get to that level 6 and can start actually contesting those barrels. And the Divine Intervention, really powerful with that Wukong, lets you go for a really clean setup where you have the Wukong, he's getting speed boosted by the Yumi, he can get into the backline, start stunning people up with that final chapter, and then you can go for the Wombo combo with Cyclone and Divine Intervention.
Yeah, I think I like the Kale here. The big risk is that now you have big scaling picks in all three lanes, and you're really, really leaning on Rapid here on the Wukong to enable all three of these lanes. The question is, which lane can you affect the most? I still think in this case it's going to be more towards this bottom lane. Victor Oriana, very safe matchup for the Ori to play in. Twitch Yumi, though, has that ability to just sneak up on the enemy bot lane. You can just kind of combo damage and look to burst someone down. They don't necessarily have good CC setup pre-6, but if you can get down there early, blow some summoners, and then revisit that lane once your bot lane and yourself have that level 6, it doesn't really matter about the CC. You'll just have the damage. You can just lock them down pretty quickly. Um, I think that's the look here for T-shirt with this Kale now being locked in.
For sure, H4T sitting here at the 21st seed, looking to move themselves into that 3 and 2 bracket to get themselves qualified to the main event. A win here over Team Ambition would be exactly what they're looking for to be able to get that done. Team Ambition, of course, looking to get a little bit of redemption from their performance in that last event, going to aim for that 3 and 2 or 4 and 1 record themselves here today. Only one team going to move up to the 2 and 0 bracket, or the 2 and 1 bracket rather. We will see who it's going to be in a few short moments, but first we're going to throw it to a break here while we load up onto the Rift. Welcome back, everybody, to tonight's broadcast of the PGCQ Open Qualifiers here on the Team Ambition stream, where Team Ambition are taken on here for T-shirt here in the 1-1 bracket, looking to move themselves up to 2-1. The Kale is going to be the selection for Phenom EX. We went back and forth on that one a little bit. It is going to end up being Kale at the end of the day.
Yeah, certainly I would say a better lane matchup against the Gangplank, like you mentioned. Very good at dealing with barrels post 6. We'll see what Phenom can do here against Crimson. If he can just either survive this lane, carry it out, I think, again, we're going to see a whole lot of jungle pressure get brought down towards this bottom lane. We got Scary Jerry on a carry against Jeremy down here. It's going to get very confusing, I think, on the caster desk.
Oh, yeah. Jerry against Jeremy. Did not even consider that one, but we'll see how many rhymes we could pull out there in the bot lane this time around. I have Maddie on the Volibear starting on the red side. Rapid going to be starting on the blue, so both of these junglers going to be moving their way over towards the top side. If they can influence that Gangplank KO lane earlier on, DNA immediately getting aggressive onto Onat here on the Orianna.
So it looks like actually Maddie is moving down towards Krugs. This tells you that he's going for the full clear on the Volibear. A little bit interesting because I did just also say that I'm expecting them to go for the bot side plays this game. I mean, you kind of start this full clear towards top side. You are certainly looking towards the Kale and looking to clear towards top, but there's always a possibility, like I saw last open qualifier, that you can pull off one of these kind of more creative paths, move towards bot lane, really just trying to be as flexible as possible for his team here right now.
Yeah, definitely wants to have that flexible option here. Recall, we talked about yesterday, when Maddie was playing against Team Ambition, it was on the Volibear. He went for this super interesting clear where he cleared out all the bottom side camps and then went for a gank bottom. Could even maybe see something crazy like that, although it does look like Scary Jerry and Tsum are going to take control in this bottom lane, so not going to be an option available to old Maddie on the bear. He's going to move his way towards the top side, keep his full clear going, and see if he can stand by to protect Crimson as necessary.
Yeah, that's one of the interesting things that here for T-Shirts comp is that you have really 3 lanes that could kind of pop off and carry you. And really the question is, where do you have the best gank setup? Who can you manage to actually get on top of this game? And looks like maybe Rapid wants to try and consider getting this Kale farther ahead in the early game. And just continue to focus up top. This was the pick that was a little bit confusing, like you mentioned. Sounds like they wanted the Vladimir and ended up with the Kale instead. We'll see if here for T-Shirt can still make this pick work, as still very powerful in the late game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and if you're gonna, not sure what led to this circumstance, but Kale very close to being fine in this scenario, and some would argue maybe even better, as it is a more traditional counter pick, but it is getting dove. Maddie coming through here. Rapid is gonna be there for the counter gank. Will they be able to melt through Phenom in time? Looks like they're gonna immediately call that the answer is no. Maddie moves out of there as quickly as possible. They do manage to blow the flash from Phenom, though. It is gonna all around be what we would consider a favorable trade for Team Ambition.
And the one thing here that isn't great for Team Ambition is that Maddie ended up actually moving out of the clear to go for this dive. So it will be one camp behind Rapid here. Not a huge loss by any means, but certainly not an advantage here for Team Ambition.
Yeah, it does end up with the Scuttle Crab on the top side while Rapid is still working over there. We'll see who can contest for the bottom one. Jeremy and Blossoms moving their way over there are just going to look for the recall here. So, not going to be anything crazy. That's quite the combo now that's available with this Tom and Jerry lane as well. You can start channeling the stealth on Twitch and move into recall after that, so you actually recall while invisible. Blossoms then has the ability to jump onto you right before the recall completes, so very, very safe recall opportunities in what would generally be very unsafe places for this lane.
Yeah, it's like it's what Zion Rakan wish they had together, They wish they had the camouflage, but unfortunately that is only available to Yubi. Relationship goals here in the bottom lane. We got another gank up top. No flash on Phenom. Let's see if they can pull this one off.
Yeah, the stun gonna come through. Crimson just flashes forward to get the rest of the damage. Will they work their way through this Kale? One more shot should do it, and they actually can't get it in. Phenom gonna stay alive. Flash blown for Crimson, and Phenom just absorbs even more pressure on this Kale. Does no longer have access to the teleport, so there's gonna be a little bit of an angle for Crimson to freeze on them here, but definitely really responding very well to this amount of pressure.
You might be in a little bit of trouble. I like that Rapid here did see the gank top lane, kind of knows that the Raptors are spawning around this time, so you have a great option here to go for the Raptor camp. You need to be careful though, there's a few members pushing up towards them as Tsum is roaming up with Maddie.
Yeah, Rapid going to get spotted doing the chickens there, so he's going to have to leave the little ones alone. The big one does go into the monkey's pockets, though. Will be building up on that little bit of a CS lead that Rapid has got for himself. Nice CS lead built up in the mid lane for DNA, though, sitting about 11 ahead right now, with the wave state pretty even.
Yeah, feels pretty good here. I mean, you're just sitting on non.
Oh,
Oh,
going for the solo kill. Gets the combo in. One more Q. Flash away. First blood solo kill to DNA, who's now going to head for the hills to try to get away from Rapid. The slow going to come down there from the command dissonance, but it's not enough. It is going to get traded back there by Rapid. Forced to blow the flash to do it, though.
yeah, that certainly hurts a little bit. Being stuck out there in the mid lane, was not expecting the solo kill action to happen here in mid. I called it out as a farming lane, but Demon Brand Arc hits 6 first and just goes aggressive there on the Orianna. See if they can manage to get this wave back into a favorable state for them and force Onat to walk forward again. But good placement here by Rapid. Catches out the Orianna, burning the flash for it as well, but still feels good to trade something back for it.
Absolutely does, and yeah, he had the teleport to get back to lane too, so he could build up an even larger CS lead for himself and net the pressure to take this dragon for his team. They already had the priority in the bottom lane, and with DNA being able to teleport back while Onat has to walk, it's an easy secure for them. Team Ambition now up to about a 1,000 gold lead early on.
And Maddie's still sitting here at level 5, so doesn't have the option to go for this bot lane dive just yet. Looks like they really want to try and secure this Volibear ultimate before they go for that, but now hovering in the wings, might be looking for another gank here.
Yeah, Onat does have access to the flash, but he's kind of stuck on the wrong side. Will Maddie go in for the flash stun? Looks like he's going to wisely hold on to that one. Instead, they just get Onat's flash basically for free. They are losing out on their topside camps, though, as Rapid sees where Maddie is and wants to take full advantage of the opportunity.
I have a little bit of a meetup here, and it is level 6 versus level 5, so Rapid doesn't actually want to go for this one.
Find one another. Maddie going to be backing away there. Will be forced away. Is getting chased down, actually. Rapid is going to go in for the Cyclone, trying to keep himself safe. Phenom going to come through with the heal, and they will be able to run their way out of dodge. Crimson chasing down, looking for one more shot. Rapid will drop, and Crimson picks up his first kill of the game.
Yeah, why is he trying to escape? But I think maybe he could have just channeled recall in that bush and not even gone for it. Well, I think I actually Maddie did check that bush, so would have, I think, been spotted out either way, but unfortunately, it was just the better timer here for Team Ambition. They had Gangplank walking back to lane, they had Orianna in a good spot in the lane, and so they're just able to roam on down, pick up that kill, and clean up 1 kill for 2 camps here on the topside jungle.
Nicely played there. Will be able to get Crimson off to the start that he's looking for. Level 7 over level 6 of Phenom has built himself up about a 20 CS lead, and that first kill as well, going to line his pocketbooks even more over the side of the Kale. Onat taking some aggressive trades here. There's another shockwave from DNA. He's looking for another solo kill. One more Q will do it, and DNA 2-0 up over Onat.
Man, DNA's brain is just scaling across the open qualifiers. Had that first rough game on Tristana, now coming up big here on the victory against Cincinnati Fear, and now today, on this Orianna, 2 solo kills to their name. Demon Brand Arc is just popping off.
Super great play there for the side of Team Ambition. They are dominating this mid lane matchup, and this Orianna being strong coming into the later game, going to be really huge. Having these carries with extra upfront burst damage up against what is a relatively squishy here for T-Shirt team, exactly what you want coming into those mid-game team fights, where you can just end the fight before it even starts by chunking out a couple of key members.
Certainly would like to see that happen. Do have the second dragon now coming up in 2 minutes or so. I would imagine with the game state kind of just the way it is, you want to keep scaling up this Kale. Victor falling a bit behind. These dragons should now be going over to Team Ambition. They did manage to get that first one as well, so they have a chance here to stack up a very, very early soul.
Is certainly what they'd like to get for themselves. 2 minutes to go until a Mountain Drake will be available for the claimant, and a lane lead for pretty much every lane for Team Ambition. The jungle has fallen a little bit behind. Rapid's done a good job of punishing Maddie every time he's shown, and Maddie has certainly not been able to convert every appearance into a lead on its own, but is given his laners the opportunity to really build up their own leads, and here's going to be another one. His Onat's going to get stunned up, this time with no flash. Shockwave comes through, and Maddie gets himself the kill. Onat being pushed out of the game.
Also have the Herald here, so they could even do it one more time as Jeremy throwing out the final chapter here down in the bottom lane. Not going to find Scary Jerry, though. And they aren't actually going to drop the Herald here, so this is telling me they're looking for the bot lane play right now.
Yeah, and that's both ultimates blown for here for T-Shirt, so Scary Jerry and Tsum see a chance to just go aggressive. Maddie coming in with the Stormbringer, gonna turn off the turret, the teleport starts getting channeled. Can they burst through Jeremy in time? Here comes DNA to try to turn around the play. Jeremy gonna get traded onto, but Maddie's going to drop as well. It's a 1-for-1 so far, with Onat's TP also being expended, and they're gonna disengage the dive right there. They do pick up the kill onto that Twitch, though, which is exactly what they want to do to deny him the farm.
Yep, that's one whole wave denied. Did manage to get picked up here by Onat, so the teleport isn't exactly wasted. You are still managing to pick up some resources. But as well, Demon Brand to get this wave shoved in, hit a recall, and then come back with items in the pocket. Assuming that's something they want to try and go for right before this dragon. But actually just happy to sit out here on plates. I think just hit a recall before this play, so not losing out on anything here for Team Ambition. Happy to continuously find these pushes, and now looking to set up for this next dragon.
Phenom needs to find himself a recall up here in the top lane. Look at the item difference between him and Gangplank right now. Crimson has completed his Essence Reaver. Phenom sitting on just a couple of Doran's items. He's got 2k in the bank, so he's certainly going to be able to pick himself up a whole bunch more once he actually gets that recall off, which he does just now. But boy, that was looking a little sketchy there for a couple moments.
I mean, like, obviously you're on the Kale, you want to hit 16 as fast as possible, but you also need to make sure you manage to back and hit these items just so you have a chance to stay alive in this lane, as you will get poked out underneath the tower by this gang. Playing Rapid in a good position here.
Yeah, they're going to go in Rapid looking for the Cyclone. Doesn't actually have it off cooldown, though, so only able to get a little bit of damage from the Nimbus Strike, and DNA will be able to survive by expending his Flash. That second dragon going to be claimed by Ambition as well. 5-2 on the scoreboard. A 4k gold lead. Very clean early game from TA so far.
Manny's just going to have to yeet this Herald, I think. Almost out of time now. Could just throw it down over the wall and make sure they can try and collect these plates, but now in a whole lot of trouble.
Yeah, now he's in combat and can't place it down at all. Going to turn around and try to fight onto Onat. The healing going to come through from the Yuumi, but not going to be enough to save him, as he will eventually drop. Tsum is the next target, though. Looking to make this into a 2-for-1. Scary Jerry, the last man standing, waiting for DNA to come and back him up, and is now actually utilizing his movement speed. Wants to keep the pressure on, focusing on to Jeremy. Fires through the big laser, can't quite get the slow. DNA arrives, but it's just a tiny bit too late. It is going to be a 2-for-1 trade for here for T-Shirt.
I think they wanted to try and get behind that turret to throw it on the Herald, but 3 members in the jungle there. That's here for T-Shirt. Happy to try and take that fight, and they managed to get the kill. Maddie's Herald expiring while dead, and like you mentioned, in combat, you can't throw it down at all. So, nice little victory here for T-Shirt. So despite Team Ambition taking that neutral objective, they're just unable to utilize it, and it will delay that first tower take by just a little bit.
Yeah, prisoners of the moment there, Team Ambition. They've got such a big set of riches ahead of them. They've already gotten ahead in every lane. They've got a big gold lead, and they've got this Rift Herald that they want to utilize. They realize it's timing out, get a little bit too desperate to use it, and end up taking a fight that they rather would not have, giving some gold back into here for T-Shirt, and allowing the Rift Herald to expire anyway. But now another dive coming through the top lane. Phenom gonna throw down the Divine Intervention to stay alive. Will it be enough to save him? Looks like no. Stormbringer gonna come through and turn off that turret. Meanwhile, Scary Jerry's getting engaged onto the bottom lane. He's going to jump his way over the wall into safety, as now the dive continues onto Phenom. He's so very low, but they can't quite get that last bit of damage. Flash gonna be blown by Rapid, though, as the damage from Crimson is just too dangerous. This will be first turret going for Team Ambition in the top lane.
Man, it looked so incredibly close, but honestly, Phenom did such a great job kiting out that one. Also, shout out to the ult from Maddie. I liked the look of taking the first few tower shots and then utilizing the ult to actually catch back up to the KL and disable the tower. It was a good ability usage, but I think Phenom just kind of put on the legs there towards the end, was dodging skill shots left and right. Nice escape up the top lane. Will lose the tower at the end of it all. That's Team Ambition, now bringing this up to a 5k gold lead.
That's pretty substantial here at 14 minutes. Good cash out as the turret plates do drop, and now having this mid lane turret incredibly low as well. That's going to be next on the chopping block. DNA continues to get the push in this lane, continues to harass onto Onat. Jeremy is stealthed and is looking for a play, though. Chaos Storm going to come on down. DNA trying to retreat. There's the spray and pray, and Jeremy's going to work his way through that Orianna. Shockwave cannot come through in time. A kill for here for T-Shirt.
The map's a little bit more open now, and this is kind of where Twitch starts to excel. Once you can get it out of the lane, utilize that stealth to just find that last bit of damage you need to take down your targets. And obviously, Demon Brand Arc has been playing this lane extremely well, but now that we're kind of in this part of the game, you need to play a whole lot more safe. You gotta have pink wards at entrances. Make sure you're tracking the switch everywhere, because it's almost like having a second jungler here on the team of here for T-Shirt.
Yeah, you gotta respect the Rat. He can be anywhere at any time when you've lost track of him for a certain period of time. And this time around, he's going to be at the Rift Herald, fresh off his kill in the mid lane, claiming an objective bounty for here for T-Shirt. The fact that those have turned on already, definitely a good sign for Team Ambition, but they've let a lot go back into the pockets of this Twitch. Jeremy sitting at 3-1 is a threat that has to be respected.
And don't forget, this is a ticking time bomb composition. If Team Ambition doesn't continue to find leads here in this game, like continuously finding team fight wins so they can get this soul point and eventually the soul, they will just fall behind because it's by nature. It's a Kale, Victor, and a Twitch. Those are horrifying late game carries to play into.
Ooh, dive in from Rapid, gonna be very nicely punished by Team Ambition. Shockwave the monkey back into the team. They pick themselves up 1 kill and now can push for even more. They get the mid-outer turret and are focusing in onto the inner. Maddie has the Stormbringer, could turn off this turret at a moment's notice if he feels like he needs to, or if he feels like they can focus through the rest of it, but they're just gonna melt it down, and he's gonna use the Stormbringer for the disengage. Jeremy advancing forward, gets Polymorph Phenom, stepping forward with the Divine Intervention, will finish off onto Maddie, but gets traded back as DNA bursts through the Kale in an instant. Crimson coming in on the flank a little bit late to the party, will just rejoin his team as they back away. It's a 1-for-1 trade, 2-for-1 if you count the earlier kill on Rapid, but 2 turrets go into TA's pockets.
Yeah, so I liked this look from Team Ambition, and this is exactly what I wanted to see. I want you to push down 2 towers. I want you to utilize this gold lead and just shove it in the faces of here for T-Shirt on this composition. A nice pullback there to kill off Rapid, but maybe just overstaying a little bit. They are going to be a little bit late getting back to this dragon as well, and it's actually, you can look on that little picture-in-picture, you can see that they're throwing in the Rift Herald actually in mid, as we have a whole other fight happening, but...
Crimson, though, found himself a pathway in there and just took out Jeremy, and this is a big fight for TA now. Double kill for Crimson as he finishes off on a Rapid and now chasing down onto Blossoms, who's going to be forced to jump into his Victor to give himself a little bit of a path to safety. This is going to be sole point for Team Ambition, and 2 more kills into Crimson. He's going for the double cloak build, trying to get himself even more crit chance, setting up probably for an early Infinity Edge.
Throw it all out the window, man. I was just saying how Team Ambition was maybe overstaying their welcome there on those 2 towers by looking to, you know, just push their advantage as much as possible, but that Dragon timer was on 20 seconds. Here for T-Shirt wanted to try and utilize that timer and the slightly missed time backs for Team Ambition to thread on the Rift Herald to mid, distract him long enough to get to the Dragon and either have first positioning with Victor, Twitch, and Yuumi, or just trying to take the burst on the Dragon as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, neither really worked out there. I think Jeremy kind of got caught out on the side, maybe pulled back in by a Shockwave or something in that fight, and was just unable to secure any kind of Dragon here. So now 5 more minutes out, almost 23 minutes into the game. Kale is only level 12, and it's Team Ambition sitting at soul point on Infernal.
Yeah, no idea what happened to Jeremy there, but with Flash and Cleanse up, he just gets one shot by Crimson. There's going to be Onat throwing down the Chaos Storm. Now going to be the next target. Tries to flash away, but gets stunned anyway. Jeremy's on the side, throwing out that final chapter, but Onat's been finished off by the jungler. And Scary Jerry is on a killing spree. Gets himself the double kill, kiting backwards up against Rapid, and this is all the makings of an ace, Sopan. It's going to be a win for Team Ambition as they get themselves the 5-for-2.
Just throw the wall at them. They're feeling the gold lead. They're feeling good. Just go straight on in. They pick up the 5-for-2 ace play. Scary Jerry gonna farm it out. Just gonna push in all these waves, steal as much jungle farm as they can, and just continue to starve here for T-Shirt of resources. I like this look. I mean, you just force the fight whenever you can. If here for T-Shirt is gonna let you in, go for it. You have the gold lead. You have to fight. You have to continue to be super aggressive against the Kale.
Definitely is what is needed so far. It's been a solid game all around for TA. Checking out the replay here and how Onat ended up getting caught out.
Yeah, so just kind of sprinted on in. I mean, got the smite off. Onat, not in the best of places, got slowed by that Oriana ball as well. So just really opening up the ability of Maddie to just sprint on in. And that's what started off this fight. Here for T-Shirt felt like they had to commit to this fight in order to get something back. But in the end, there's just too much lockdown on this team, too much damage, and too much chase down potential with the Zeri. They just get the 5-for-2, and they feel really good about it.
They certainly do, and with that ace in their pockets and with the soul point coming up here very, very soon, Team Ambition have got all the tools they need to be able to close this one out. They just have to keep their wits about them, make sure that they don't get picked off, separated from one another. Rapid looking for potential engage, but it's actually Phenom who's getting caught by Maddie over on the side, and that's just so much damage. No ulti available. Double kill comes through for Team Ambition. Scary Jerry is unstoppable, as it is going to be 2 off the map right as the Baron is on the table. Team Ambition say thank you very much and move on to that objective.
And before it was throwing the wall out on, this time it's really just a, we have vision control of this area and you cannot walk in. Phenom walks up just a little bit too far, and that's well within the range of Team Ambition to pull the trigger, go for the engage, now looking at the Baron.
Yeah, and it looks like they should be able to get it for themselves here.
There's
Not
one in the
really
pit.
too much contesting going on. Rapid is forced off onto the other side. He's at half HP. Can't get his way in. He's going to look for it once again. No flash, but would have the W to get over the wall. Doesn't matter. Maddie going to smite that one down.
I actually really appreciate Rapid's restraint here. I think when you're in a situation like this, you're this much gold down, now up to the 10k gold lead off the back of this Baron, you're playing a jungle, you're like thinking to yourself, okay, maybe I can hit the Miracle Steal. But even though that's kind of what you need to get back into the game, you also just don't want to die for free. So despite this like being kind of here for T-shirt's only win condition, Team Ambition did a really good job of keeping multiple members outside of the pit to zone off Rapid there, and he recognizes it and just goes, okay, you know what, you're right, I'm not even gonna try to fight this one away. I'm gonna prefer to keep myself alive, because the percentage chance of that play was just incredibly low.
Definitely is Maddie. Now with the rest of the team moving into this blue side jungle again, they're actually going to pop the battle song, looking to find their way in. They know that Rapid's around here somewhere, and they want to find him. Actually just running straight towards Jeremy. He's going to get slowed up by the cannon barrage, and this Twitchy's not invisible when you're that close. Maddie dancing on here for T-shirt as they pick themselves up. A crucial pick onto the Twitch, feeling very confident in their ability to contest for this next dragon, and very confident in their ability to take out this inhibitor turret.
I was so tunneled on Rapid's shenanigans, I didn't even see the Twitch in the bottom lane. Honestly, that was the focus of Team Ambition this time around. They just run on down, get themselves another kill, and with the 5v4 advantage, looking now to push down some turrets with this Baron.
Yeah, and set up to be able to take it. Maddie really feeling himself this game. You know, we've had some messy games yesterday for Team Ambition, but this one, you couldn't have really drawn up any better, and Maddie is feeling it. Dropping the emotes, very happy with this performance. As Rapid getting collapsed on, his clone's gonna nearly get one shot. He's gonna be very happy that that wasn't him, but not very happy about these Baron minions knocking on his base doors. They are going to rip through that mid inhibitor, and objective bounty's been claimed as top outer falls, but Team Ambition say, yeah, you know, we'll take that. 2 inhibitors for an outer turret, and now the Dragon Soul next on the menu.
At this point in the game, the KO level 16 is pretty far out. It looks like they're gonna forfeit the soul here for T-shirt. You kind of have to. They're really just doing whatever they can to funnel resources into the KO and hit level 16 so they can commit to like a last stand fight in their base. But they gave up 2 inhibitors. So now the question is, where will he make that last
Rapid
stand?
showed. Scary Jerry sees the opportunity, just chasing him down. Not going to fall for the decoy. The rapid fires land, and Scary Jerry goes godlike. Solo kill for DNA in the bottom side, and Team Ambition, they see an opportunity to close it out right here, right now. Onak going to be the next one to drop. Blossom's going to join him. A triple kill to Scary Jerry on the Zeri, and Jeremy, the last one standing, trying to stage a base defense, will get collapsed on by Maddie. Ace is completed 5 for 0, and Team Ambition move up to 2-1.
Pick up the soul in the nick of time just to have that nice clean dragon sweep. But that's Team Ambition, like you mentioned, up to 2-1. Just needs one more win to qualify for the next stage as they knock down here for T-shirt to that 1 and 2 stage. See what they can do here in these upcoming matches. But what a well-fought game here. Looking good for Team Ambition.
And looking better and better with every game that goes by. You know, the Bay State College game number 1 was a little bit shaky, but up against Cincinnati Fear, they looked so good, and now facing off against Here for T-shirt, a just dominant performance all the way through against not even close to a pushover team. I mean, Here for T-shirt has had some great performances, both as wildcard aces previously, and as well as in the last OQ. Here going to drop to 1 and 2. They're still going to have the opportunity to get themselves the next couple of wins and possibly make that main event. But Team Ambition now a whole lot closer. Only one more win tonight until they can guarantee themselves top 16.
I think really not only just the whole team's kind of scaling overall, but Demon Brand Arc really coming online in this match. Really, really impressed with the performance on the Orianna. Not exactly a pick that would, I mean, it's always Orianna's always good, right? But not exactly a pick that we consider to be super lane dominant. But flexing their muscles this game, did a phenomenal job finding 2 solo kills in the early game and creating just a ton of pressure on the map for Team Ambition to utilize.
Definitely, and should be looking pretty good into the rest of the night. This is obviously going to give them a tough matchup in round number 4, facing off against what is going to be another 2-1 team. We will have to wait a little bit until we can find out what that matchup is going to be. All of the matches have to complete until seeds for round number 4 can be doled out. So we're going to throw it to a little bit of an extended break here. Hang around Twitch, check out where some of the other streams might be going on, some of those other games, but come right back here once it's time for round 4, as we are going to have more Team Ambition action for all you to check out.
Support system on the rear. Face front, come say so.
Hey, back doors all clear.
Chain tight, can't play no
Well
more.
fed, we eatin'.
The motto is to push for it. The ops stay too wuss for it. Like matter of fact, we creepin', now we sneaking. Enemy highs, we be seeking. Lurking through waters and bushes, oh man. Crude eyes, we deepin'. All of we die, one at a time. Those are the facts, we don't throw dice. Ready to fire, ready or not, we letting it go on. Bang, 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 bang. Wake up, we want war. Y'all know what time it is. Paint red on this ground floor. All we throw is fists. To the core, we lit. Rain down abyss. Set it up like this.
Set it off like this. Set it off like. Set it off like this. Set it off like. Set it off like this. Set it off like. Set it off like this. Burn it up, burn it up.
Set it off like this. Set it off like. Set it off like this. Set it off like. Set it off like this. Set it off like. Set it off like this. Burn it up, burn it up.
Too many enemies. Too many enemies. Too many enemies. Yeah. Too many enemies. Too many enemies. Enemies. Too many enemies. Too many enemies. Yeah.
조금 밑에 모여봤자 니네 이 몸한텐 형 이겼으니 형은 늦어 거만해 봐줄 테니 한 대 때려 시원하게 때려봤자 넌 내 손 안에 살려줄게요 소 가능하다면 안 해주면 내 심장이나 상처 Wait 연구만 있어 잘 그려라면 안 해주면 바로 매부 비상형 Go riders, go riot, gasoline lighters, more fire ski tires, blow up dynamite, need more wires 너의 샤이 드리고 거무하며 쭉 갈까 일어나며 괴롭게 만들어 뼈화를
Go riders, go riot, gasoline lighters, more fire skid tires, blow up dynamite, need more wires 너의 샤이 드리고 거무하면 조용할 거야 일어나면 그렇게 만들어 평화를 Set it off like this, set it off like Set it off like this, set it off like Set it off like this, set it off like Set it off like this,
Burn it up, burn it up.
set it off like this, set it off like Set it off like this, set it off like Set it off like this, set it off like Set it off like this, burn it up, burn it up. Say no.
She make music with a body, call her Pandora, Spotify. Who's got the lyrics to that body all memorized? Mama get that job done, in fact she overqualified. Boss lady, hot sugar, come alive. Watch her dance off, she putting a spell on whoever she dance for. Everybody wanna touch it, they can't though. Rules are hands off, still she make them grands though. Dollars rain down. Girlie got that fire, like she camped out. Dudes popping tents like they on the campground. She makes music with a body, the ballers they spending money, running. Pop that, pushing that, making that a sing. Money, pop that, pushing that, making that a sing. Money, pop that, pushing that, making that a sing. She makes music with a body, the ballers they spending money, running. Pop that, pushing that, making that a sing. Money, pop that, pushing that, making that a sing. Money, pop that, pushing that, making that a sing. She make music with a body, the ballers they spending money, running. Bunch of sexy baddies up in here, but this one stand out. She a star, make them ballers pull the bank out. ATM shorty ain't gon' give enough funds. Better hit the branch, boo, in preparation. Feature dancer status, she the center of attention. Jacob Javis, the big convention boys coming with them thick stacks. Stadium players got the grip, spin that. Face like a doll, body juicy, deadly when she grabbing them make out. She make music with her body, she that number one single. She make music with her body, the ballers they spending money, running. Pop that, pushing that, making that a sing. Money, pop that, pushing that, making that a sing. Money, pop that, pushing that, making that a sing. She make music with her body, the ballers they spending money, running. Pop that, pushing that, making that a sing. Money, pop that, pushing that, making that a sing. Money, pop that, pushing that, making that a sing. She make music with her body, the ballers they spending
really getting to it day and night. I'm really in the game, I live that life. Fake 'em left and then I take 'em right. I ain't going out without a fight. I put on a show under the lights. Love it when they say my name on the mic. Highlight play, make 'em wanna show it twice. Highlight play, make 'em wanna show it twice. I'm the coldest, get it done in freezing rain. When I get in my zone, I can feel it in my veins. I go tunnel vision, ain't nobody that can stop me. I'm legendary, they just want the jersey on my body. Put up the numbers, people trying to say they love me. Work out every summer, cause the winter gon' get ugly. Feel like the world against me got me going even harder. Take off like a rocket, I'ma snipe it like I'm Harden.
When I go beast, how you gonna stop it? When I see the blitz, I just call an option. I'ma take my time, never leave a pocket. Man, it's not nice, so don't even try it. When I go beast, how you gonna stop it? When I see the blitz, I just call an option. I'ma take my time, never leave a pocket. Man, it's not nice, so don't even try it.
I'm really getting to it day and night. I'm really in the game, I live that life. Fake 'em left and then I take 'em right. I ain't going out without a fight. I put on a show under the lights. Love it when they say my name on the mic. Highlight play, make 'em wanna show it twice. Highlight play, make 'em wanna show it twice.
Boy, don't lie, do or die, it's my time. 14 inches, put it all on the line. I'm a big boss, yeah, I do it out of sight. I really run this, you just running out of time. I'm pushing the rock, when I dish it, it's a dime. But it's a decline, but I'm still in my prime. All this hard work, only right that I shine. All I know is grind, putting over time. When I go beast, how you gonna stop it? When I see the blitz, I just call an option. I'ma take my time, never leave a pocket. Man, it's not nice, so don't even try it. When I go beast, how you gonna stop it? When I see the blitz, I just call an option. I'ma take my time, never leave a pocket. Man, it's not nice, so don't even try it.
I'm really getting to it day and night. I'm really in the game, I live that life. Fake 'em left and then I take 'em right. I ain't going out without a fight. I put on a show under the lights. Love it when they say my name on the mic. Highlight play, make 'em wanna show it twice. Highlight play, make 'em wanna show it twice.